Okay guys, it's Lini again. These are the best support heroes to play. You guys seem to have liked this more informational style of a video, so I figured I'd make another one for support. Hopefully 7.40 or whatever doesn't come around that time. But until then, check out these best heroes to play as a support, whether pos 4 or pos 5. So I really think the quintessential best pos 4 player, pos 4 hero to play right now is Spearbreaker. Spearbreaker, it's just such a good hero to shut down a lot of what's popular right now. We see him as a great shutdown for Sven with BKB when he really wants to lay down that damage when he pops BKB in his ultimate ability, God Strength. Great for Shadow Fiend, great for Drow, targeting those back lines that otherwise would not be able to avoid. A Spearbreaker with Shadow Blade, which is probably one of the first times you pick up for this hero. Ursa as well. Ursa can't really catch Spearbreaker, again with invisibility as initiation, and then you have your innate ability, your facet, excuse me, Bull Rush, which lets you just pull back after you hit him. Luna obviously is another good one too. You don't see a lot of Lunas, but Luna Manta into Ags or Dragonlance Manta into Ags or something like that. Having kind of, and with BKB, having a Spearbreaker kind of interrupt that as well is very nice. Obviously you can use Spearbreaker to catch kind of jumpy heroes, Storm Spirit, Queen of Pain, Void Spirit. These are also heroes that just don't like to deal with someone who's constantly charging them or constantly finding a way to reach them from across the map and destroy them. So Spearbreaker really works against a lot of enemy heroes that are popular right now. He's also works really well with heroes that are popular to play with. Dawnbreaker, Dawnbreaker's an obvious one. You charge in and then you Solar Guardian down. Mars, also another obvious one, right? Mars gets the, either you get the lockdown, Mars arenas and everything else, or Mars gets the lockdown with his arena, throws on the spear, throws on the God's Rebuke, and then you just charge into the follow through. Earthshaker, another brilliant one as well. Legion Commander as well. I mean, you name them, Spearbreaker can somehow fit in with them. I mean, the laning stage a little bit rough with the hero. Can't really do much during the laning stage. Mostly roams around, which is not that bad of an idea either sometimes, depending on, you know, the offlane that you have. But I think, yeah, in general, he's really good, right? They gave him better base damage at level 1, so boost to speed, you can comfortably walk in, maybe deny a secure range creep or harass enemy support. Spearbreaker is still kind of ever so relevant in the other lanes as initiation. Don't forget his innate ability means that he's always kind of staying within the XP range in general, or whoever has less XP range XP than he does, then he'll help bolster that up. You know, I honestly think Snapfire is coming back to the fold as a popular hero. That's a nice ultimate, by the way. Great. I love when Snapfires use their ultimate before they use all their other abilities, because a lot of Snapfires, they really play too focused on their actual Q and W, when really it's about your ultimate initially. But I think for Snapfire, I think he's becoming more popular because the hero overall is a great shutdown to popular pub heroes you would see, at least at my level, which is kind of average. You see Snapfire shut down Phoenixes with Little Shredder. You see Undying doesn't really like having his Tombstone shut down really that quickly by Little Shredder. On the flip side, if you're an early game, if you're kind of a mid-game, early game hero, having a Snapfire on your team is great magic burst damage. It's great. It's a nice little 4-step either to initiate or to pull back in. The hero doesn't really need that many items. I mean, this is pretty late in the game. This is 40 minutes in, so Snapfire has a few great items. But really, you pretty much just pick up Solar Crest, and if you want Greaves on the hero, if you want, just Little Shredder lowers armor. She just has a lot of little utility items and value depending on who she's with, and so she can have a lot of presence on the on fights and in lane, even if she herself doesn't really do a whole lot besides big burst damage with her 2 abilities, depending on, of course, how you level those skills. So really flexible, decent laner. On top of, you know, what we're seeing a lot of early game safe lane carries and safe lane supports. Dazzle I've seen a lot of as well. She's a great way to kind of shut down a lot of those aggressive carries or aggressive enemy carries. And her ultimate is obviously fantastic, right? It disperses a lot of team fights in your favor, or it's a great way to kind of follow through on, let's say, an Earthshaker initiation, or on a Magnus initiation, which we see a lot of, or we just saw with Mars as well. She can ulti into a Mars ult. Obviously, the Mars on this game is on the other side, but you kind of get my point. So, yeah, she really has a lot to offer, and don't forget her full bore facet. It's been nerfed over the years, but it's still very good. Full bore, also very good during the early game. Yeah, Silencer, another global hero. That's pretty much the bottom line. He's another annoying support. He has his Suffer in Silence, where Silencer takes less damage from and deals more damage to silenced targets. So obviously, a hero that can silence his opponents and then deal a ton of damage with Arcane Curse from like level 1, 2, 3 is super annoying to deal with, especially when the pause 1 can take advantage of the slow from Silencer, and the silence that he deals means that the enemy can't really retaliate or have an escape ability. Obviously, Global Silence is really picked as a way to kind of shut down early on a lot of heroes that rely on their abilities. Obviously, they all do, but rely on their abilities to kind of make them work, right? If you do Global Silence before Leshrac jumps in with Diabolic Edict and Pulse Nova, then it's not that great for Leshrac, who's already blunk in, or more importantly, it's not that great for Leshrac, who was ready to jump in and deal his damage. Or, you know, let's say for this lineup, right? Terrorblade, we don't want Sunder to be shut down at a very precise moment when he wants to do it, just because he's been silenced. We don't want Queen of Pain to be unable to blink away because she's been silenced. We don't want Pango's Rolling Thunder to be shut down just because he's also been silenced. Shadow Shaman, you want the full duration of Shackles. You don't want that shut down just because you've been silenced. So really, the hero for Silencer is just one that can counteract a lot of popular heroes right now, and can choose when to best use his ultimate. Or you could just pick Silencer if you know your team's going to pick heroes that don't want to be silenced, right? Like you know your ally mid laner is going to pick Queen of Pain or Storm Spirit, or here you know your ally is going to pick Enigma. Then you pick Silencer as a support because you have first pick, first of all, and second of all because you don't want the enemy to pick Silencer, obviously. So really, Silencer is just a hotly contested hero that's really been kind of a match made in heaven due to the meta. Now, in terms of late game items for Silencer, I talked about it. You could pick up Force Staff or Solar Crest if you want to be boring real support, which you should. But if you want to be cool and hot and you know you have a fun lead and nobody really needs your items, which most people assume, even though it's not true, Ag Scepter and Refresher are always nice items to pick up. I mean, with an Ag Scepter, you're applying Global Silence and Arcane Curse to all your enemies just for kicks. And then on the flip side, if you go Refresher, well, guess what? You can silence your opponents for like 12 seconds, which is pretty much the duration of most fights that you hope to have. So, a really, really strong hero. Great late game items. Nothing really to sneeze at. The only real problem I would say with Silencer is that he has terrible survivability. I think he dies a gazillion times. So really just focus on landing your global silence. Walk over and pop your other abilities after you feel like you can get away with it. Otherwise, it's just about pressing R and then pulling back. Alright, check this out for Earthshaker. This is why he's so popular towards the later parts. As a support, he just farms so fast. He wiped out that creep wave in 2 easy hits. And, you know, I like Earthshaker because I can make the same points I made as a pause 2 or pause 3, just like I did for him in his core video. And here as a support, it's the exact same reason. The hero just farms really well towards the later part of games where you can get these important items like Refresher, like the Yashakaya, and it really has no risk for him. He can do this move of Fisher, Enchant Totem with the Shard, don't forget that, and he would pretty much wipe out creep waves. So he can keep the lanes pushed. He doesn't have to do it out in the open here. He can just hide in the trees anywhere here. Have a long range Fisher from downtown, and those creep waves are going to be constantly towards the enemy side of the map. And then this gives him the freedom, positioning, and opportunity to make these ganks. You're about to see in a second here. The Centaur has no idea that he's about to get Echo Slam. Boom, 1, 2, and then the big hit here. And this easy combo you see with Earthshaker is actually made even easier when he gets his core item like Yashakaya, because evidently the Kaya will reduce the cost of your spells, in which Earthshaker obviously uses a lot of spells. But on top of that, the Yashakaya means that he's going to cast his abilities incredibly quickly. So it's just very hard to deal with an Earthshaker that can pretty much do his combo of Echo Slam and follow through on Enchant Totem with Fisher, all at an incredible pace or speed that is typically not seen before. And because Earthshaker can farm that so fast at the later parts of the game, it just makes it very, very comfortable for that hero to pretty much secure any kill or join into any fight as late as he wants, knowing that he can pretty much guarantee that damage as soon as the BKBs are up, or even before the BKBs are popped for most enemies. Wow, that's a pretty good fight for him. Now we do see Yule sometimes on Earthshaker. Most of the time, it's either to avoid damage or it's to help. Let's say you can blink and then catch it, the anti-mage before he blinks away. If you don't have the Yashikaya for that quick cast, or more importantly, if you're playing, let's say, against Invoker, Invoker is going to probably just Atos and then just try and nail you down instantly there. You can use to dispel the Atos or to avoid the damage, or alternatively, you can use that to dispel, let's say, silences or any kind of disable that prevents you from being able to do what you do best. So in reality, Earthshaker, if you don't really understand why he's so good, just give him a shot. He's pretty easy. His laning stage as a pause 4 is maybe not the greatest, but I think overall the hero just makes up for it really well with incredible scaling and pace of farm towards the later parts of the match. Okay, same thing as Earthshaker. You know, everything I said about him as a pause 1, 2, or 3 even is applied as a pause 4, right? One of the most annoying parts about this hero is evidently his teleportation. We should also check out his shard ability with his spirit vessel, which deals just a ton of damage to enemies without really having him to commit all that much. But all that said, I mean, even if he didn't have to commit all that much, he has incredible just natural stat gain. So his damage as an auto attacker is pretty fantastic. Not to mention that his innate ability makes that even better the more he's surrounded by trees. And who is more surrounded by trees than a ganker that can teleport anywhere across the map, including his and the enemy's jungle? It's just profit. So this hero just has just all natural abilities through all stages of the game to be really useful, right? He's got a great sprout, which is a great hold against offlaner, both pause 4 and pause 5, that he can then harass with both the damage from sprout, but also his natural auto attack, which has a pretty good range. On top of that, he has this great healing facet that he can use to keep his cores up, or else even himself, by just giving them a tango and throwing down those great trees. And then the hero just, again, farms really well, right? He has great damage, especially being near trees, so he can farm jungle really nicely. He can push lanes down with those treants that we talked about. Not that common as a core. Usually you get stats, but for support, yeah, why not get some treants and push down some lanes for get a little bit more damage when you're farming. Don't forget that treants do give you damage similar to as if they were trees. And then you have this global farming or even damaging ability as a follow through, or even as a help to gank enemies when you are personally dead or personally farming or just unable to join a fight, which I'm sure you've played enough pub games to know that's going to happen all the time. And as well as the fact that this beautiful shard ability, Crystal of the Old Grove, is also pretty aggressive damage, both to farm jungle camps very fast or just to do massive AoE damage in a fight without having to be really near your opponents. Look at this AoE. I mean, is that not absurd? That's an absurd AoE, and it does massive DPS, even more when there's trees around, which is always. And it also slows, and it slows more than one person. So the hero just has a lot of great tools and opportunities to take fights and to join whenever he wants in the fights, because again, teleportation gives you that barrier and gives you the positioning power that any hero would dream of having. And it could be at any stage of the game, right? You can see this hero doesn't even pick up boots, because one, it would slow him down from picking up larger items like the Spirit Vessel or even a really fast urn. But two, you just don't need it. You can just teleport to where you want to be, and there you go. Look, this guy's dead. Okay, now he's dead. He's been chopped. In any case, yeah, Nature's Prophet, just the best of all worlds. Great at all stages of the game, late, early, mid. You can build a lot of great items as a support. This is the core build, but support, you can do Blade Mail if you're taking a lot of damage or putting these one-on-one fights. You can go Orchid. I've seen a lot of Orchids on the hero. Right, nothing does great damage like being able to cast all your abilities and then amplifying that by a silence that does rend damage or rend effect. You can go Sight the Vice. You can go Ag Scepter for lockdown, even more lockdown, global lockdown. Pretty fantastic. Really, you can go any kind of item you want. You can even split push with a Desolator, uber late game if your heart desires it. You can also go Pipe of Insight, or you could just be like every pub player at the Archon level who just plays Nature's Prophet as a core. Midas, Maelstrom, Mjolnir, Daedalus. Don't buy BKB though. No, BKB is a forbidden item at the Archon level. I don't recommend doing that kind of build, but honestly also at that level they just tend to not end games fast enough. So maybe you can pull it off as the one rare and truly inspired Nature's Prophet carry pause 5 player. Any case, I've said enough. Nature's Prophet, definitely pick him up.